Dear students, we will continue talking about the models of permission here. For the past, we have could or be allowed to. I could go out with my friends. I was allowed to go out with my friends. Models of advice should plus infinitive or shouldn't plus infinitive and ought to. These verbs are used for giving advice now, for the future, or generally. You should go to the doctor now. He ought to study for the exam. They shouldn't buy things if they don't have enough money. Modals, degrees of certainty. Must, can't, couldn't. Express a certainty about now or the future. That must be the new manager. She can't be so old. She looks very young. Must, can't, couldn't, have plus past participle express certainty about the past. She must have been in a lot of pain. They couldn't have been on holiday for so long. Should, ought to express probability about now, the future, or generally. You ought to feel better in a few days. Should, ought to have plus past participle express probability about the past. The bruise ought to have disappeared in a few days. Modals, degrees of certainty. Could, may, might express possibility about now, the future, or generally. You should talk to your doctor because that diet might be dangerous. Could, may, might, have plus past participle express possibility about the past. That might have been the doctor who rang while we were out. Could, might, have plus past participle express possibility about a hypothetical past. If you didn't follow your doctor's advice, you could have become quite ill. Modals, criticism. Should have plus past participle and ought to have plus past participle. These forms express a criticism of past behavior. He ought to have made more effort. He should have eaten more before going out. Modals, obligation and necessity. Must, have to, need to express an obligation or necessity. I must or have to need to study for the exam. I must study for the exam. I have to study for the exam, or I need to study for the exam. Needn't, don't have to, or don't need to express no obligation or necessity. You needn't go to the shop, or you don't have to go to the shop, or you don't need to go to the shop. There is a lot of food in a fridge. Had to expresses a past obligation. He had to study hard for his exam. Didn't have plus past participle expresses a lack of or past obligation. An action that happened. They needn't have gone to the shop. There was plenty of food in the fridge. So dear students, that is all about the modal verbs and their equivalents and their place in a sentence and their function in a sentence. Thank you for your attention, and our lesson is over. Goodbye for now.